Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making Trinidadian doubles, and I grew up on doubles. It's a very popular street food in Trinidad, and in case you're wondering where Trinidad is, here it is on the map, on my pot holder map right down here. And this street food is something that's eaten any time of day. You can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, midnight snack, a late night snack, anything. But before we get started, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know the next time I post a video. Let's go. The night before, I sorted through 1 pound of chickpeas to remove any broken ones and make sure there were no stones. I then added 1 teaspoon baking soda, and I filled it up with water so that it could soak overnight. Chickpeas is also called chana, so you might hear me call it that as well. I also made my dough with 2 cups flour, ½ teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon instant yeast, 2 teaspoons sugar, ½ teaspoon turmeric, ½ teaspoon cumin, and I mixed that all up. I then took 1 cup of lukewarm water and added about 3/4 of the cup in. I didn't want to add too much water, so I started with 3/4 cup and added in little by little as I needed, just enough to combine the dough. You don't want to overmix this dough. It does not take long for it to come together. Probably about a little over a minute it took for this to come together. This dough is what we're going to fry up to make the baras, and you need 2 baras for each doubles. That's why it's called doubles, but you'll see that later. Once my dough was combined, I added 1 tablespoon vegetable oil and just massaged it in to help the dough be nice and soft when it's fried up. I then covered it over with a bowl that gave it a nice seal and then wrapped it in plastic wrap until the next day. If you don't have time to let it rest overnight, at least let it rest an hour or 2. So now I'm going to empty this out and rinse it out a couple of times with fresh water. Adding my drained chickpeas to a pot along with about 9 cups of water. Probably should have used a bigger pot. And I'm going to add to this 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon baking soda. I'm going to turn it up on high heat. Just give it a stir to mix that. I'm going to let this boil for about an hour, and I'll be scooping out any froth, and I'll show you that when it starts boiling. Okay, and this is what it looks like now. It's risen. I'm just going to take it out. It's a little tacky. Take it out and divide it into 4. For each quarter, I'm going to divide it into 4 again. And I'm just going to roll each one into a ball lightly and set it aside. And I'm going to take a clean kitchen towel and cover this and let it sit for about an hour. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare my tamarind sauce. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup sugar, a ½ cup of water, and a 1/4 cup of tamarind paste. I'm keeping my toppings simple, so I'm making my tamarind sauce, and I'm also grating up 2 mini cucumbers because that's all I had in my fridge, although I definitely would need more for all the doubles this is going to make. But I'm going to grate this up and put some salt on it and let it sit for a few minutes just to draw out the water. After it sits for about 15 minutes, I'm just going to squeeze the water out the cucumber and set that aside. My tamarind sauce is bubbling and the sugar is melted, so I'm just going to take this off and let it cool. Let's check on the chana. So it's gotten quite soft. I left it boiling for about 50 minutes. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of green seasoning, but you could also just add chopped herbs, chopped cilantro. I'm adding 6 cloves of chopped garlic, a half teaspoon turmeric, and I'm going to stir that up. And I'm going to let this cook for 15 minutes. So I've actually let this sit for more than an hour, but you see how they've puffed up. I'm going to put some oil on my plate and then bring over some of the dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 piece of the dough, flatten it. So I flatten my dough and I'm going to put it in the oil. And I'm not worried about holes. And as soon as I drop it in, I'm going to flip it over. And that's it, about 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm going to put it into my pot or my bowl lined with paper towels. And you just repeat that process. All done. So now I'm going to cover this with some foil and let it rest for 30 minutes. Let's get back to the chickpeas, the chana. So I'm using my big wooden spoon because I want to mash up some of these peas so that it thickens up. And for the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be stirring this occasionally back and forth, getting it to a nice consistency. I don't want all of them smushed. I want some whole pieces. So at this point, it's thickened up a little bit, and as this cools, it'll thicken up even more. So I'm going to taste this to see if it needs some more salt. Needs a little bit more salt. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon masala, or you can use ground cumin. I'm just going to stir this up, let this mellow for a minute or so, and then cut off the heat. All done. Now let's put it all together. And so you need 2 baras, 2 of these to make 1 doubles. That's why it's called doubles. So let's see what we have here. We have our chana or chickpeas. That's nice and thickened up. We have our cucumbers. We have our tamarind sauce and our Scotch bonnet pepper sauce. I have my parchment that I cut out. This is how you see doubles served. Put one and then you put the other overlapping. Get yourself a scoop of chana, some cucumbers, Scotch bonnet, and this is not hot. It's more sweet than hot to me. Then you take some tamarind sauce, drizzle that over, and there you have it, your doubles. Alright guys, take the first bite. Ooh, do you see it? The sauce, chana. Okay, if you won't take the first bite, I'll take it. Takes me back to childhood. It's delicious. The dough softened up. The chickpeas is nice and flavorful. You got the little bit of heat from the Scotch bonnet sauce. Like I said, it's not overly hot. You have the tamarind sauce. It's a little sweet, a little tang. This is good. You guys need to try this. You can add different toppings to this. You can use mango chutney if you want. I just kept it simple with my toppings. So I'm gonna wrap this up. But if you guys plan on trying this or want to try it, or if you just love doubles, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, could you hit the thumbs up button? It really, really helps me out. If you didn't enjoy the video, hit it anyway. Who cares? It's free. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Bye!